Hey guys, hi, welcome back. Well, today we are covering a very important topic. This is about building your vocabulary. Yes, repertoire. So I've used this word before. You can figure it out in my previous videos. I will link it somewhere here. But today let's talk about increasing your vocabulary bank. What is that effective technique? Well, I would say what is that effective process of learning new vocabulary and also being able to remember it and to utilize it effectively. Otherwise, there's no point just having a notebook filled with all the exciting words and you just don't remember the meaning, you don't use them, and you are actually at the same place where you were when you started the journey of learning vocabulary. There's no point, and I don't believe in that. I believe in something which is simple, effective, and which can help you improve every day to move forward bit by bit, step by step. Every day is a journey, right? So you have to move forward. This is a very simple but effective technique, and if you use this, I guarantee you that you would be a champion of using great vocabulary, English vocabulary words and phrases in the daily walk of life. Okay? Well, let's see what that is. So we start with step 1, which is divided into two portions. There is approach 1 and there is approach 2. Okay, so there are two approaches which I have put for you. I will talk about it now. So you can use any of these approaches. So the first one is collect words. A lot of people start with this. What they do is they listen to a lot of YouTube videos. I have done some. I will list it above. You listen to new words, new vocabulary, you collect it, you listen to podcasts, you read articles, you read newspapers, you read books, you listen to news, you listen to a lot of different sources of information, and then you collect all interesting words. So this approach is to collect words, as many as possible. Some things which you like and you kind of write it down, you collect it. So this approach is that you go out to the world, you observe, you see what words, you listen from it, and then come and collect it, right? So you collect the vocabulary, you collect the words, the phrases, the idioms, everything, right? So you collect them. That's approach 1, okay? Now we come to approach 2. Now in this approach, now this is one of my favorite. Well, each person to his own. I'm not saying that you use the same one, but I love this. And I'm sure there'll be many people who find this better than this. There'll be others who find this better than this. So whatever you find simple, please use it. Let's talk about this. Now this is finding situations, okay? So what you do is you figure out that what are those situations in your daily life where you ideally talk to people. So what could be those situations? Well, in the morning when you go, you have to greet your colleagues, right? You have to greet your friends, you have to greet your teachers, your mentor, whoever. You have to greet people. So greeting is a particular situation in the morning, right? Then you've got lunchtime where you have your lunch conversations. You ideally meet people in the lift, in the elevator, in the parking lot. In the evening you catch up with friends and you talk to them. So these are different situations where you ideally talk to people. You need words and vocabulary to express these situations, right? This is what I do. I figure out that these are the areas where I actually talk to people, and I think I should use some smart vocabulary, interesting English words, and I will also figure out that these are the places which gives me opportunity to use it, right? So I go by the situation method, not by collecting words, but I identify the situation. I first identify the situations and then I go and figure out what words could be best suited in describing that particular situation. So that's my approach. So I know that I usually catch up with my friends over lunch, so I come up with interesting idioms or phrases which I can use, or interesting words which I can use to describe my experience over lunch, or what I had yesterday, or what I'm planning about food, or about cooking, about new restaurants, or whatever. right? So I use these things to explain. So my favorite word is mesmerized. Oh, I was mesmerized by this new restaurant and the location. Or I just went bananas when the staff was not paying attention to me, or they were or it was unhygienic food served, or something like that. So I've used going bananas or mesmerized. These are the nice, interesting vocabulary, idioms, phrases, and the words which you can use. So figure out what are the words which would fit in well and relevantly in that particular situation. So this is my favorite. Well, you can see which one you would like to go with. Another thing which I usually practice is going to CAMBLY. As you all know, that CAMBLY is something which I use to get new vocabulary, because it's a platform where you can talk to native English speakers across the globe. So you will get practice, that is talking to native English speakers. So that's a great way. Let me show you. Hey guys, so you see right here is CAMBLY app. I click onto this app and it opens into a screen which has home, tutors and topics. So I'll click onto tutors. And these are the tutors which I can choose from. And let's say I will choose Paul and practice English. Hey Paul, hi, this is Manjita here.
Hey, how you doing?
I am good, Paul. That's great. Paul, can you help me with the meaning of the word invigorate?
Yes, of course I can. Invigorate, what it means is to be energized, ready to go, full of action, and basically not sitting around doing nothing, just full of energy and action.
I was invigorated after I played in the open air. Is that correct?
Yeah, that is correct. Because you've used the word in the right context, and also you've used it in the right tense as well, because you said invigorated because it was in the past. So that's very good.
Thank you, Paul. That was amazing. CAMBLY is giving special discount for my subscribers and listeners. Well, you'll get 30% off if you subscribe to 1 month plan and 40% to 3 months plan. The link is in the description below for you to know more. Well, that's about it. So now let's move on to our next step, which is step number 2, which is once you've used this approach or this approach and got all your words, you will now record it. Yes, that's what it talks about. It says record. So you can record it in different way, whatever is comfortable for you. I use 2 ways. I'm an old school person, so I usually write it down in my notebook, and I try to write the meaning as well. And the other approach is that I listen to the pronunciation of that particular word on Google, the correct pronunciation, and I try to replicate it in my own voice, and then I record it. So whenever I am revisiting this word, I read it in my notebook, and I also listen to it, because I know that what the correct pronunciation should be. Because if you just write it down, you might be reading it, well, the spelling would say something, but the pronunciation would be completely different than the spelling, right? We know few words like that. Come on, restaurant is a great example. It's written as restaurant. It's not restaurant, but you pronounce it as restaurant. So that's how it's a little different. So it's always good to record it, to know how it's pronounced, and to write it so that it's in front of you. You can also write it in your phone, in your tab, wherever you want, whatever is comfortable for you, right? To each his own, again, as I said it. So please record it in the most comfortable fashion, which will help you remember quickly, okay? So after we are done with step 2, we now move on to step 3. Now step 3 is quite important because it talks about research. Now what is research? It's always good to understand that how to use that particular word. Now again, this is my personal favorite. Now if I figured out a particular interesting phrase or an interesting word, for example, if you have to say attention to detail, now that's quite common, and if you, instead of that, you can say that, well, have you crossed all your T's and dotted all your I's? Well, it exactly means that have you checked everything to the minutest detail, right? So it's a nice way of saying that. So I write it down, I do some research, I figure it out that how else can we use it? What are the different sentences which have been used? You know, internet is your best friend. This world is this generation is really amazing because technology is at your fingertips and you can do whatever you want to do with it. So please use it in a positive way and see how the different what are the different usages of this particular word, and all you have to do is pick up that sentence and you can just tweak it around and make it your own. So if someone has said a particular sentence, you know, if someone's used it for lunch, for dinner, for describing a particular hobby, or for describing a particular place, you get an idea that I can use this word in describing similar situation. That's an amazing thing, right? Because everything is ready-made for you and you pick it up from there and you kind of imbibe it in your, or customize it as per your particular life. Okay, so do some research and figure out how that sentence has been used and how you can use it. It's always a good idea to write it down, that probably, or frame that sentence. Whatever you will use it into, frame that particular sentence and just say it or record it so that next day you can practice it exactly in the same way you've written it. So your homework is done. That's a very, very smart way of doing it, right? Well, after you've done your research, you've figured out your sentences, you've written it down. Now let's see what's the next step. That is step 4, and that is most interesting. Now, why do I say it's most interesting? Because whatever you do or whatever you've done until now goes down the drain and is of complete waste if you don't do this step, and it is practice. Put it into practice, okay? So the next day when you go and you are into the same situation where you wanted to use it, you actually have to push yourself out of the comfort zone and use that particular sentence, use that idiom, use that phrase, use that word. Go ahead and practice it and just use it, you know. So you have to, because this is where a lot of people fail. They don't use it because whenever the moment of truth comes, they are like, oh my god, forget it, I'll do it tomorrow. There's no point. You should not be scared because you have done your research, you have figured out the correct sentences, you know the correct tense of it, you have even written your practice sentence. All you have to do is just say it. Right? So utilize this time and energy and concentration and confidence to go and say it. Use it in actual situations. Okay? So that is your, so this step makes it very interesting because you will be surprised to see that you will get different answers from different set of people for the same sentence or for the same question you've asked, you know. So it's very, that gives you confidence and you'd like to use it more. Okay, now let's move on to our last step, and that is step 5, which is repeat. So just doing it for one day will not help. So you have to keep on doing it day after day. Keep using different words. Use this approach to learn different idioms, different phrases. Use the same approach with different set of words. That's how you build your vocabulary, okay? What you can do is you can use the same word with different set of people as well. For example, if you're using mesmerize, you can use it with your friends to describe a particular situation or a particular place. You can use it with your colleagues to describe, let's say, a particular client meeting or something like that. So you will use it in different situations and you will see how you will get different answers from all of this. And then repeat it with another word next day, with another idiom next day. And that's how it will keep coming naturally to you. It will be in your comfort zone and it will give you confidence to use new words and new idioms or new phrases every week, every second day, and you will see it's naturally coming to you because it will become a part of you. Alright, you are my rock star and you will be a champion soon, my dear. So do not forget to subscribe, like, share and comment, and I'll see you around. Till then, bye bye, take care.